We both have long hair, so.
Well,
It looks kind of dark on my screen here. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so today we're doing a print and internet workshop, and we're having a release party for Spectrum Mayflower. As I mentioned many times, I help out Spectrum Publishing with finding venues, and we are at Rosebud Coffee in East Pasadena. So we're gonna have a blast today, and you're gonna check out some amazing poetry.
I do, but we don't need it here.
Oh yeah, we don't think we need it here. Oh, I know, right? And plus, there's no
Anybody
outlets.
remember the fuzz?
There's like no outlets too.
No outlets? Well, then there's just.
Yeah.
How is Coco?
The Coco, she's coming. She's doing better. She had hernia surgery. They put something in there to hold the organs. So it just takes a little everything.
Yeah, she is Dan Garcia Black. I mean,
Well, Dan, what about Dan?
well, he was.
He had a real illness. Not hernia, that's not.
But she had also
It's a condition. Hernia is a condition.
But she has had a cancer too.
In the past.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still got that same humor. Hopefully he still do a little back porch scrolling guitar or whatever. Yeah. He was
People trying to invite here and there. He's very suspicious. All kinds of germs, not just COVID, but all kinds of germs. Maybe he's working for you.
yeah, I can still read it.
No, I get you. I know, and right now, like, there's some cases are going up again. So I hope it doesn't get worse. Yeah, that's why I always started to like it. At least on my personal YouTube channel. So for those that don't know, Diosa will be our feature for August for Spectrum. And it'll be here on August 20th, along with Opasan and Sola con Carne. Socalio. Yeah. I need to remind you to change her name because she wants her name changed. Sola con Carne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do that. Better remind.
Yeah.
I have a lot on my mind.
It's all good.
Sister decided to sell the family house.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
When at your mom?
But no,
We did this morning.
this morning, wow. So when she
Oh, no, she passed away last month.
oh, your mother passed away?
Yeah, she died on.
I didn't see that.
Thursday.
She held on for a long time. Though. You had the last women call it the last rites.
Wow, how old is
He was 84.
So, and you and your sister will divide the.
Well, that's the thing. She made a decision to sell the house. You buy a whole house.
You can, it's down there.
What is it? I know, 22.
The house is in Monterey Park.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she come right by.
I saw you in a picture on the website. You made a picture on the website.
Well, that picture
I just saw you.
from 61, I was 2 years old.
Wow.
In my Huckleberry house. That was when we lived in North Hollywood. But just 1 month later, we moved to Monterey. Yes.
Oh, last night's event was fun. You missed out because after
Dude.
the event, they did a screen of Stranger Things.
I
but
told you I had obligations,
I
right?
know, but you should go next month.
If Coco is here, I would tell her. Oh,
Hey,
Where's she at the laptop?
right over there where my laptop is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if
You
need
have the
help-
Wi-Fi already?
Yes, it's already.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'll be Rosebud's guest, and then when you log into that, they're gonna ask you for a password on the website, and then that's the password right there.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And then I gotta go buy my sister a coffee.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Mhm. Mhm. What do you think?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about approaching this coffee house for a while,
Mhm.
but just never got around to it.
Yeah.
back in 1985, they had. They phoned me and they said. Just temporary. Just temporary. Now the flying part was. But no visit like that.
Oh, are you Linda?
Hi, Fred. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm Jesse. Nice to meet you.
You're sorry I'm late. There's a big hangout on the freeway.
Oh, it's all good.
I got off. Yeah, I got off the freeway. You did? Oh, my gosh. Hey,
Yes.
it's just so nice out here.
I know this is our first time being here actually in this particular place.
Cool.
So you're our inaugural guest for this venue. Yeah.
I mean, you said it to us. That you were like,
And then when you're
Sorry about that. Oh, you're great.
oh yeah, Linda, this is the Elsa.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
I gotta go back to this.
I saw you the post that you edited the excellent quotes at Village Well on Thursday. That was my,
Oh my gosh, did you have a chance to check it out?
I did.
Come on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, my first time also at Village Well, and it's nice to have
How's
your
it going,
there.
kiddo?
Ah,
I'm getting there.
That's good. 'Cause I'm dependent on you to have
A couple of blocks away from Sony Studios.
access to the website.
What website?
Mayflower.
Oh,
When the time comes, of course
Oh.
we have the guests.
Joe, what happened to my Google?
Hey.
She doesn't hear me. She has her earbuds in.
Oh,
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Yeah. And of course, they have to have this. Yeah, because Viva, yeah, she's the owner of that bookstore, so.
What happened to my Google?
oh, that's so nice. I asked her if she was going to carry it, but she didn't say anything.
It's not here anymore.
Okay.
And my Google extension.
He's
That
gonna
wasn't Google, that
re-virtual-
was,
he's gonna re- on the virtual. I guess he didn't want to drive.
I just
all the way from
erased
Canada.
my old
Where's-
Word
if you don't mind me asking,
documents.
where do you stay at?
That wasn't Google.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, my Google extension was on here, and now it's not here.
So the thing is, if I were him, I would have driven because I went out to Buena Park yesterday.
Google
And
Chrome.
hang out with Mauricio Moreno and yesterday. Yeah. So that's not.
I was actually out in Rialto yesterday, so
Yeah.
it was nice. Executive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're from the IE, right? Yeah.
My aunt lives in Rialto, so I'm there. Old now. It's really weird that she's old now. She was like, well, I guess for her, my mom is 2 years older than she is, and my mom is still like herself.
Yeah, you deleted both of my Google extensions.
Crazy ever running around bananas. But her younger
Oh, is there
sister,
issues with the internet?
She accidentally deleted both of my Google extensions, so I'm just pulling them back up now.
Oh.
But she was 66, she was still keeping that. You're right.
I let her borrow my computer the other day for work, and in doing so, she deleted my extensions.
you got internet.
Yeah, it's just taking a little longer because I have to reroute everything because she deleted my extensions.
It's a good thing she's here.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're here. I said it's a good thing you're here. Why? Because you're able
Because
to help,
otherwise,
right?
I wouldn't have known what the hell happened to my Google.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, no, I have to open Zoom. Because my Zoom won't open without my
Okay, maybe I misunderstood.
without my Facebook.
Yeah, that's my aunt. Yeah, remember her name. I just remember her local.
There we go.
Well, you know my aunt basically now, totally. But
It's
part of both,
3:15.
part of both, but just
Time for Saturday afternoon.
This is Robert. A question and an answer. That's right. It's supposed to be the same number of syllables as a haiku 575. Ah,
Okay, now where is Mayflower?
You're
I was gonna bring on
alive.
Linda
We're
first.
so glad. We were just lost in
Does she need to come over here?
purgatory.
Yeah, this is where the magic is happening.
Okay, Linda,
yes.
we need you to come over here so they can see you
Is it the Zoom folks?
in Zoom land.
Yeah, this is Zoom.
Cool.
So if you guys want to see who's in Zoom, you can log in on your phones, but I would recommend that you mute your mic so that there's no feedback going on here. Okay, I am going to live stream this event. So once again, if you do not want your face portrayed across Facebook, please stop your video now. Remember that if you are not the poet that is speaking, so please mute your mic. Let me see here.
Or as an alternative, you can use your phone, then you can stay there.
Special publishing.
Okay. I just realized that.
Okay, perfect. Preparing live stream. Here we go. Okay, Mr. Kingfisher, we are now live via Facebook.
Awesome.
And you can introduce our guest poet.
Yes.
All right.
May I?
Yes.
Oh, double
What fun.
plus. Okay, so
Thank you,
put
Dawn.
in full purview.
How exciting. I love to inaugurate something.
Can you see yourself?
Yes.
And you know they can see you.
Hooray. Hi, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to Dawn for
Booking you
absolutely for booking me. And
because she has a book. Check it out.
yes, I have actually 3.
Oh, that's the one I knew about.
Yeah, so here's a book that just came out this month. It's called The Stand Poems from Pedestrian Press out of San Francisco. Dun, dun, dun. And this from local LA favorite Hinchas Press, something that I co-edited with my fellow Project 1521 authors. You can find this book everywhere. It's called Tlaquilix from Hinchas. I'll be reading a little selection from there. You can find this at LACMA, Beyond Baroque, Stories. And a friend here at the patio here in Pasadena said he just saw this at the Village Well. Oh no, I'm so sorry. He just saw this at Village Well. I apologize. Yes, this is my other book I'm hawking for Hinchas Press, book that I edited called XLA Poets with some amazing LA poets in it. This you can also find at LACMA, Beyond Baroque, and Village Well in Culver City, and many other bookstores. Stories, Skylight, or write to Hinchas and get it direct from the publisher. Eschew the middleman. All right. So is our good friend and co-inaugural poet J. Martin Strangeweather here?
Yes.
He is?
Yeah, I'm in the house.
What's up?
Virtually.
Nice to see you, friend. So how does this work? Oh, Dawn.
Right, so basically, you and Martin have like, I'd say maybe 15 minutes to just share your poetry,
Oh, swell.
answer any questions, and let them know where they can get the books, which is kind of what you already did.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. So
Starting off responsibly.
which one do you want to start with?
Yeah, maybe I'll start by talking about this book that just came out. It actually was compiled during quarantine. All the editors got together over Zoom every couple of weeks, and oh my gosh, it was really grueling. We have about 20 members in Project 1521, a group that was organized before pandemic, but with the spirit of considering and focusing on the so-called conquest of Mexico by Cortez. Last year, as you probably know, was the 500th anniversary of that. So we were a group that organized to come together to study the documents left behind, the art, and then we had a beautiful exhibition in cohort with Sandy Rodriguez at LACMA. Say again?
Hi, honey. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Just.
What happened?
Wow, it's like performance art. This is so cool. Okay, all right. I guess that was over. Oh, let's. Amazing. That was amazing. It was an amazing piece of performance art.
Okay.
Dawn, get with it.
Okay. I'm trying to focus. Yeah.
So
poem.
yes, it was a beautiful poem. Thank you so much, Gia. So yes, so this is a beautiful book. We have poets, Chicanx poets. We have our wonderful representative from Lebanese/Armenian American culture, Armine Iknadosian, featured in the book. Our man on the scene in LA, Adolfo Guzman Lopez, one of the co-founders of our project. Some beautiful poetry from Adolfo. You know him from KPCC, of course. oh my gosh, amazing, wonderful gardener slash poet Sara Harris. She is also in this book. Just beautiful, beautiful writers. And Darren De Leon is also in this book, and he's a great LA slash San Francisco, San Bernardino poet and educator. So this is a beautiful, beautiful book. And so I'll just read this one poem of mine from this book. It's called Orchid Bulb. Orchid Bulb, Foxblood, Seafoam, a Poultice. And this is written for the 7 children who perished in US ICE detention before pandemic, the year 2019. And I'll say their names: Darlin Cristabel Cordova Valle, Jacqueline Caal Maquin, Felipe Gomez Alonso, Juan de Leon Gutierrez, Wilmer Josue Ramirez Vázquez, Carlos Hernández Vázquez, y Marie Juarez. You will not be forgotten nor ever, though you return to air and earth. You'll be in the dawn again, braided in our bread. Our ox bones will bear the need of you, the essential you. Our leaves and trees will increase with you. We will imbibe of you. Even our river water will increase because of you. We'll imbibe of you in night, you, the remanded, the terrorized, the swept. You, the medicine for our children, though no star shattered to feed you in the tremor, in your hour of need. Your mother's hands, a fury, a cloud, all fastness to bring you over. The eternal recurrence of your gift, your footprint, your small foot on the place. Every desert plant and I will become you. You will not be forgotten, you. Your useful voice will sing in this desert again. Your child call and ghost wisdom, your strength to withstand conquest. It's an ancient battalion against those bronze heavy hands, those pressures sacrilegious from outside you. Your strength to rebuild the tower of our people over and again, your ironweed, your night, your time under glass. Though your throat was closed, it will be the tributary. The medicine of your veins will speak the healing. Your body will return the protection of which you were robbed. Your body the breakers, your body the rock, your body the breath, your body the night, your body the safety, your body the light, your body the tunnel of grass, your body the place, your body our coven, your body our wood, until you become everything. Thank you. Yeah, ice is a terrible thing. In the face of so many terrible things that are going on in our world, yikes and a half. So many of the poems in this book sort of bend around those issues. What it's like to be a remnant of the indigenous people of this land, what it's like to walk in those shoes a little bit. And it was certainly so prescient during pandemic when we were all sort of looking from our windows like, what's going on, at the incredibly brave people who couldn't look from windows. So yeah, Tlaquilix. Check it out. What now, Don?
From the stand poems.
Oh, from the stand poems. You got it.
Yeah, that's the one I was really interested in because this is the new stuff.
This is brand new.
Yeah.
Just came out in May. And starting a little lit tour around the US. I have some bookings in New York, Austin, Texas, Joshua Tree, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, and LA right now. Coming to your town if you want me. The stand poems from Pedestrian Press. It's the last book from the founder of Pedestrian Press, Jay DeSalvo, who had a terrible accidental drug overdose during pandemic. So this is his last book for 20 years of work. So he was a wonderful guy. He started Bicycle Press here in LA. He published so many of LA poets, beyond Baroque poets. And then he moved up to San Francisco and Oakland. And Bicycle Press became Pedestrian Press maybe 8 years ago. So I'm extremely glad to have worked with Jay since 2009. And I'm really happy that we put this out. Yeah, so check it out. It's pedestrianpress.com, I think it is. You can find the book. And so this is about my friend Stan. And my friend Stan and I, we met in 1997, and he was probably just the most important person in my life. My best friend, my musical partner, my writing partner. Then we got married. We have a little son together. And then one day, oh, what day was that? Well, it was February 23rd, 2019. We walked into his studio, and there he was, expired on the floor. And it shocked us like to the core, all of us, his friends and family. And because he was such a difficult person, so brilliant, so capricious. It was like having a star in the house, like a piece of molten metal, like just dancing around. He was amazing, amazing guy. And so he was like upsetting and beautiful. And so I turned right to this poem. All the poems in the Stan Poems, Indictments and Amendments are, so it's in 2 volumes. The first 80 pages of the book are called indictments. And then the last, maybe 70 pages are amendments. So it's a 2-volume book, two books in one, where I sort of, I guess, upbraid and boil and roast him for all of his, it's like the opposite of don't speak ill of the dead. I do nothing but just rake him over the coals for everything, our many years of our epic Celtic battle. And then the last part of the book, volume 2, is I'm more balanced, right? But when you truly love someone and they're a very upsetting person, you have to look at all the different angles of them so you can, I don't know, manage your heart. And so this book was the way that I managed my grief. And yeah, so this is called, all the poems are called the Stan Poems, and then however many days gone it has been since he's left us. And so this is called the Stan Poems, 19 Days Gone. You died during the Trump presidency, amen. You died before the new book came out, amen. You died before summer, amen. You died and we wept and screamed, amen. You died unknown, amen. You died and we knew you best as we could, amen. You died and we tried to know you from clues you left behind. You died and wiped the history off your computer in some places, amen. You died and didn't want to be known. You died and still we wanted to know you, even in your desire to be unknown, amen. You died and we didn't speak. You died and we'll never speak again, amen, a man, amen. You died and ice. You died and I was pulled over, amen. You died and I was on Cahuenga. He pulled me over from West Traffic, name of Officer Ree. I told him you died and he let me go with the warning. Was I lying? Hey man, are you alive somewhere and you're just lying? Did you hate it so much in our Craftsman house that you faked your own death? Amen. Are you going to be reborn? It's all these butterflies from tropical air regions. Will we ever see you again? Amen. Is that a stupid question a baby would ask? Is there a God? Amen. Do all my prayers end up Cobb salad on the floor? Is everything green sludge that becomes everything else? Amen. What is this city? Is everything that is the ether, that is the song, the star, the morning, the summer, the reclamation, the rebirth, the resurrection, the hope, is everything green sludge and acid and gas? Amen. And when green sludge and acid and gas, amen, when those things burn disintegrated to dust, amen, is anything to remain? The remainder, amen. Hire our topless maids from a pink van on Barham. My father knew this street. My husband knew this mountain. Everyone comes to Los Angeles with their dreams. Amen, amen, amen. He let me go with the warning. You died and I blew Officer Ree from West Traffic. Behind the liquor store in Burbank, you died, a warning. You died and he blew me away. Amen. Do I even remember how to Amen. West Traffic. Amen. Officer Ree, go with the warning. This is all happening in real time. You wouldn't do anything. It was pulling teeth. You didn't want to go anywhere. Amen. Maybe the places you wanted to go weren't the places you were being invited by us to go to. Amen. I remember sex. Tragedy returns you to heteronormativity. J-date sucks. Amen. Maybe you didn't like me. Maybe you didn't want to stay with me. Amen. Maybe if your second wife had taken you back, you would have been with her and complaining to her about how you didn't like anything. Amen. I'm in. Maybe you were Maybe you felt trapped. Maybe your dream was too big for this world. Maybe you had to sacrifice everything. Amen. I feel like I failed you. I feel like maybe when I pulled away from you, amen. Maybe you just couldn't take it anymore. Amen. Image. Why wouldn't you stop smoking? It was ruining our relationship. Maybe you were who you were because of the smoking. Maybe when you finally stopped smoking, you weren't yourself anymore a bit. Who were you without a cigarette? Amen. Maybe it's all a game a bit. Maybe you'll be home waiting, scheduling, sitting with your face in the window of computer, window to another world. Amen. And the woman from the agency said, holy fuck, Ravenswood, you know people make careers on this. This is what people want. Two men said, isn't it just like a woman to mine this kind of loss? Like all that Greek tragedy. She's making a career on the bones. Yes, down to the bones. That bitch is stylus whistling. Viva los huesos. Now she has something to cry about, down to the bone. For sure. Now she does have something to cry about. Only she's too funny. Finna smile, wearing the mask of Lysistrata, 'cause she's not sad. Summer bitch. She's rejoicing. She's not sad. She's rejoicing some bit. Another woman would have saved him. So the book is full of screeds like that, but it's also full of little hopeful poems. Of course, I can't possibly select one of those to read to you today. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
That's the way you feel.
Yes, so I write because I have to write. I don't know if you guys feel that way. I write because
Amen.
it's the way I am in the world. I'm not faking it. I was just thinking about this the other day. Whether it's good or bad, this is how I roll. I have to write, I have to make spells. These are my recipes and maps. I love being in the community of poets who feel that way. Um, I guess that's how people who play soccer feel. Like you have to do it. Got to play soccer, man. Got to do macrame. We don't know why. We just have to do it. So check out these bananas books. Hire me. Oh, you want me to read more?
Yeah.
Done.
That last one. Last
Done.
one. What? I'm a poetry holic, okay?
Poetry holic. All right. Then I came to the right place. Let's see. Oh, this book put together by publisher Iago Cura. He's a beautiful librarian, another poetry holic. And Autumn Anglin. Every single chapter in this book, XLA Poets from Hinchas Press, is just arranged so beautifully with such beautiful art and poetry. It has, gosh, let me just read to you some of the poets in this book. There's our poet laureate, Lynn Thompson, Allison Hedgecoke. She's a professor at University of California, Riverside. She's the head of Writers Week. She's amazing.
I know this poet. I know that poet.
Louis Vette Resto.
I know that poet.
Amazing. Shonda Buchanan, just elected president of Beyond Baroque.
Awesome.
Teresa May Chook is in this book. She was the Altadena Poet Laureate. Fantastic educator and teacher. I've loved her for 20 years. My dear friend. Viva Padilla is in this book, the owner-operator of Rayarte and founder of Dryland Lit. So many excellent authors in this book. Pick it up, check it out. See, XLA Poets from Hinchas Press, the publisher, or other little bookstores around town. So I'll read this book.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ask away, Dawn.
XLA. Why XLA?
Because there's 10 of us, and we're from LA.
I knew it. That's very witty.
Thank you very much.
No,
That's
'cause I
all
did a-
for Yago. Yago did all that.
Okay, so you're gonna read one of yours?
Yes, I'll read one of mine.
Okay.
And it's all about my love for Los Angeles, where I was born. It's called Bus Lady. I knew a lady out in North Hollywood. She used to live behind the metro station in a car her brother left her. It had Minnesota plates. The whole thing was a rundown. After she lost it, she ran a scam at Greyhound on account of getting rolled too many times sleeping rough. Every night, from wherever she was, she'd take a city bus to a Greyhound station and fall asleep in a chair. She'd have her suitcase at her feet and one of those voucher sleeves in her fist. Anyone walking by would think she was on her way somewhere with her neat hat and her lime green cardigan, but there was nothing in that voucher jacket, just an empty flyer. In the morning, she'd shuffle to the ladies' room, freshen up, and be on her way. By the time she was back around to that particular Greyhound station, it had been a couple of weeks. She said people thought she was traveling the Southland. If someone wondered where she was going, Vegas or Reno was usually the guess. And right on the spot, she'd make up a story about grandbabies keeping her on the move. She imagined that people thought she was well loved, waiting for her bus to be called. After a good sleep in her swivel chair, she'd shamble around, go to Penny's, have coffee from the flute at Farmer's Market, or ride the old RTD. In the back of the bar that summer I met her in Venice, she said there were two things she thought about nearing 80. She missed the old market, sitting out among the stalls with a big porcelain cup of coffee. She said wisdom was hot coffee. She said she missed being young enough to crisscross the country on the bus. And she opened a pocketbook and unwrapped a cloth handkerchief that covered her whole face in flowers when she wiped her chin. She was Los Angeles. So there you go.
So it leaves me one last burning question.
Yes, sir.
If people want to buy these books, how much are they?
Oh, let's see. This book is, I have no idea.
Does that mean there's not going to be a
I guess
in-reading
I think
special?
it's $14.99. I think it says. This
Okay.
one is $21.99.
Doing the math.
This one is also free. Dawn, how could you ask me a question I don't know the answer to?
I didn't think I was doing it.
Maybe it's $19.99. I think, isn't that it on the
Oh, the code, there's a
ISBN?
code
Yeah,
on there. Yeah,
$19.99.
Okay.
Yes.
I was a
So-
bookseller once upon a time.
20,
Thank you very much.
15, 22, 35.
35 clams.
57 clams for all three.
57 clams for 3.5 years of grueling work. Oh. Thank you guys so much. I'll just say one more thing. These are independently made books, right? These are independent publishers, Pedestrian Press and Hinchas Press. But your girl, Linda Ravenswood, actually was picked up by an actual publisher in England. You guys, later this year, a full collection of my poetry is coming out from I Wear London, Black Spring Press Group. I'm super excited about it. I'll do this little press junket and stuff. I'll have my own PR person. You guys, I worked so hard for years and years, and hopefully, finally, we'll get some, real momentum. Maybe some radio interviews, and we can shine a light, another light from me on our beautiful town that we love so well. It's called Rock Waves, Slow Drags, Letters from California, and it's all about the Southland, right? Because that's all I can think about. So thank you so much to Dawn and Rosebud Coffee House.
It was a pleasure to shine a light
Really
on your
appreciate this.
poetry during
Thank
these
you.
last few minutes.
Thank you, Dawn.
I thank you. And now, in interest of equal time,
Yes.
trying to
J.
go to
Martin
that dark
Strange.
rectangle.
Buy my books.
Or I'm gonna. Oh, careful. Sorry, I was trying to get out of her way. Yes, it's time to go to that dark rectangle of J. Martin Strange Weather.
Yay!
Welcome to the dark rectangle of J. Martin Strange Weather. What do you wish to say, sir?
No, this is actually me. This is a real picture of me. I am now just a disembodied voice engulfed in darkness. At least that's how I've been feeling lately. No, I'm going to go with this black square. It's not going to be for no reason. Let's use
Sorry,
it.
guy. Sorry, guy. It's not a square. It's a rectangle. Okay, no matter what you say.
No, it's okay. I got you. No, it's my protest. This is my protest against the war. This is my protest against the latest school shooting. It's my protest against unnecessary death. Oh, that's what I'm using it for now. Everyone cries out for peace, while the blood of their neighbors is still dripping from their lips. So, that being said, my newest collection of poems, they're ekphrastic pieces. So, there are poems about objects of art, but they're not really that. These are poems about what Christo could have done. And I'm all for Christo and all the Christos from past and present and future. But, you'll see what I mean. Let's try one out. So, this is called "The Emperor Wears No Clothes." Olga Kalashnikov's see-through tuxedos sell for $10 million US. And that's not including the bow tie. Oh, I got a train that's passing. I live next to a train, and it always comes when I read. So
that's a very lucky thing.
But I use the train too. The train is now part of the piece. Hopefully all this stuff just passes on by. And the tracks will still be laid down solid for next future passengers. Okay, back to the poem. The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Olga Kalashnikov's see-through tuxedos sell for $10 million US. And that's not including the bow tie. Every high-profile world leader owns one, partly to support Olga's cause, mainly to support their insatiable need for public adoration and social stratification. Each suit takes Olga a year to produce, working 10 hours a day, including weekends and holidays, custom made, completely hand-sewn from 100% recycled plastic, which she converts into a clear microfiber fabric that's durable yet breathable. No one knows how she does it, and she's not telling. $10 million a suit, distributed freely to the country's poorest babushkas, keeping almost nothing for herself, just enough to live in modest comfort. She's made 32 tuxedos to date. That's $320 million given away in $100,000 donations to Russia's destitute elderly population. Olga turned 70 this year. She doesn't think she has many tuxedos left in her, but her list of back orders goes on for more than 100 years. She says she'll take on an apprentice when she feels ready to retire to the earth, but only someone she can trust, never to sell the secret of the wondrous fabric to Gucci or Versace or Levi Strauss. The tuxedos themselves are surreal masterpieces, double-breasted coats with peaked lapels and vented sides, faceted buttons of Swarovski crystal, spread-collared pleated shirts with plackets and French cuffs woven from the same invisible fabric as the jacket and trousers, gossamer threads catching iridescent rainbows from every angle, nothing but a satiny sheen between the eye and its fancy. Olga, the humble seamstress from Volgograd, her patient process, her fantastical product, the redistribution of wealth to those who need it most. It's more than creative genius. It's creative love from start to finish. She calls her line of tuxedos no clothes. The kings and presidents of many countries wear no clothes, and the irony isn't lost on anyone. Imagine a room full of dignitaries with their naked truth on avant-garde display, proving they have nothing to hide or be ashamed of. This is the revolutionary art of the 22nd century, if not the 21st. So, this was about a piece of art that on all levels is used for the betterment of humanity, so that the betterment of humanity becomes the focus of the art rather than the glorification of the artist's ego or their bank accounts. And I'm all for the glorification of artists' egos and bank accounts, right? That's fine, but wow, it's so interesting that such vast sums of wealth are used in such short-sighted manners. But anyways, who am I? Who am I? Just one of the features here today. So this next piece is from the same collection, and it mentions various art pieces at the Louvre in France. I think you'll be familiar with most of the names of the art pieces. Winged Victory of the Samothrace is a statue. Maybe one. There's a very large painting called Liberty Leading the People. It's a very large oil painting there. That's, I think, all you need. The New Lou. Chinese fighter jets bombed the Louvre during the Fourth World War. Rather than rebuild the world's largest, most iconic art museum, the French government saw fit to leave it the way it was, brutally exposed and truthful. The bombing fused the literal with the figurative, transforming all the masterpieces into a single work of art, an installation on the grandest of scales, 11,000 years in the making. The demolished museum turned installation art is now called the New Lou. The artist is simply credited as China. The whole blasted site is covered in a glass and steel dome to protect what remains of the artworks from further damage owing to the elements. Walkways have been cleared through the wreckage, but many areas are off limits due to unstable floors and ceilings. You still have to pay a 20 euro entry fee. Only 20 euros to feel something real. The walls left standing are blackened with blast marks, but guards will still give you a warning if you get too close to the art. In what's left of the Richelieu wing, we find pieces of the Code of Hammurabi, but not enough to answer this question. If the Code of Hammurabi's wisdom is lost forever, then what? Making our way through the ruins of the Denon wing, we come across the Winged Victory of Samothrace, its wings blown off, looking anything but victorious, and the charred remnant of Mona Lisa, her smile just a memory. Liberty leading the people in tatters. Among the marble debris of the Sully wing, we greet the Venus de Milo, now headless as well as armless, and the great Sphinx of Tanis, not looking so great, with half its face gone. Zeus lies in scorched rubble, all the old gods and goddesses toppled. 100 centuries of well-crafted illusions laid bare, unearthing deeper layers of the artistic process than the original artists had intended. The folly of man, the peace of death, the beauty of decay, the silence of eternity. Okay, so that was from a collection called Poems from the Future Artopia, and they're all about pieces of art in the 22nd century, or art installations, art movements, but everything's related to the 22nd century.
Jay Martin, how can people acquire this book?
Sorry?
How can people acquire this book?
Oh, you can find it. You can go to jmartinstrangeweather.com and you can find it anywhere and everywhere. It's all over the place. It can be ordered through lots of places. It's easily available.
Is there a price?
It's $8.88. $8.88. Oh wait, let me make sure that's right. Yep, $8.88. I want it, and it's a small deal. I think 52 pages or something. I think, and it's you can fit it in your back pocket. It's really made to be on the move. Something that once you're done with it, you could hand it off to someone. But I also have another collection, and it's coming out next month. I'm doing a strange art piece, but it has to do with. It's inspired by the times that are happening. These are really important times. So I'm releasing a lot of things that I've been holding back with, and so I've got a collection of poems coming out on June 6th, and titled "Poems from the Mediatized Soulscape." And so they're about what mass media and social media is doing to our consciousness, and some of it is fairly disturbing, and then some of it is not, because like with any new type of ability, power, I mean like a superpower, it's what you do with it. So the internet is presenting some interesting choices to all of us, but I'm not sure if we're aware of a lot of them, even though we're making them. So it's a very strange collection about mass media, and it's called Poems from the Mediatized Soulscape. And I'm going to read one of the pieces from this collection. It's called More Cake, Please. Swiping to the left of what's left to swipe, I come across the pretty face of the woman of my dreams. I come across the pretty face on the screen. Her name is Orpa Dorpa Ling, which is Phonesian for one-legged goat milker from the hills of Ling. I know this because I speak Phonesian fluently. I'm part Phonesian. Most Southern Californians have Phonesian blood in them. We meet at Jack's Bistro. She doesn't look anything like her picture. There's no frame around her, and she's not made of pixels, though she does seem two-dimensional. Orpa orders a microphone and a film crew. I order breadsticks. They come right away, fresh from the oven, piping hot. Not the breadsticks, the film crew. Look under your chair, says Orpa. Surprise, she says. For participating in tonight's date, everyone gets a Samsung Galaxy IQ smartphone. All the diners are looking under their chairs, squealing and oinking with delight as they hold up their brand new Samsung Galaxy IQ smartphones, still in the package. Bachelor number 1, says Orpa, reading from her cue card. Who were you fantasizing about the first time you masturbated? The cameraman zooms in on my face. The waiter comes with 2 baskets of breadsticks and sets them on the table. Only one of these is real, he says. The other is a cake. Which one is real and which one is fake? I have no patience for dating games. I choose the one that looks like a basket of breadsticks. Surprise, says Orpa. They're both made of cake. It's all cake. Everything's cake. Have yourself a sweet slice of life. I grab the cake knife and stick it in the waiter's gut. She isn't exaggerating. The waiter is cake. I flip the table over, only to discover that it's cake too. Hazelnut marzipan with a vanilla fondant tablecloth. I check to see if my date is cake, slicing her in half, right down the middle. Her raspberry cream filling oozes onto the floor. The floor itself is made of cake, a dry run-of-the-mill chocolate. Slicing further downward, I split our 4-layer planet in twain, exposing the whole world's cakey fakery. Everything and everyone is mostly just frosting. Having had my fill of the spectacle, I plunged the knife deep inside my chest and cut myself a slice. Did I mention I'm cake too? We're all moist and delicious cakes, gooey and decadently rich. We can't help but devour one another. It's a cake eat cake world. Now, I
Wow.
want to.
There's more?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say we're almost out of time. At 4 o'clock, I have to change over to our second event.
I got one last one. I think I can fit it in. Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
So this last one is then Finishing Line Press is going to put out a collection of mine. These are all poems centered on philosophy, very, very focused on philosophy. And that's coming out next year through Finishing Line Press in February. So this piece has to do with sort of one of the Three Stooges, Curly, the large bald one. It's called Satori. Satori is a word that is about the moment of enlightenment. Okay? Satori. Curly Howard has lived his whole life in black and white behind the silver screen, caged on the set of Columbia Pictures, trapped in monochrome, always distracted with poking an eye, or blocking a poke in the eye, or holding his painfully poked eye. He never thought to leave the movie theater until it closed down for lack of moviegoers, all of whom were at home watching pirated movies. 10 minutes after his brethren stooges left for the Poconos with their cheating wives and illegitimate children, Curly Howard lit a cigarette and sat in the front row of the empty auditorium, looking up at the big screen, blank white and larger than life. The theater had slate gray walls and gunmetal gray chairs. He was wearing his nicest suit, an ash gray herringbone tweed 3-piece. No nyuk, 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 or anything antic. No laughter in the sanctuary aisles. Just quietness. The cigarette was only halfway smoked when he stamped it underfoot and headed to the back door exit. Hold on. He paused right before opening the door, never having set foot in the unscripted world. His need, his want, his fear pushed open the exit, blinding him with Technicolor blue, hypnotic druggy blue, a limitless expanse of ultramarine sky unblemished by clouds, smashing his brain to pieces and refashioning the pieces into a mosaic bird. He had never seen blue before. He had never seen any color other than gradations of gray. But it wasn't the newfound perception of blue that affected him so deeply. It was the newfound perception of black and white. That's it.
Perfection. Perfection. Way to go, J. Martin, Strange Weather. If that doesn't sell your poetry, I don't know what will. This is really great examples of your poetry, good man. Really, we had 2 amazing guests today. I can't thank Linda enough and J. Martin because you're both compelling writers. You really are. And people get their books. This is you just, no one else liked them. No one else liked them. Got to get them. And we're going to attempt to repay their free offering of poetry by offering some poetry free back at you from the latest Spectrum Online edition, May Flower. That's 2 words, May Flower. And I'll bring up the website on the screen share. I think I can figure it out. And we'll just go down the electronic line. Presto. Now, there's the part I'm not sure about. Oh, I can reduce that and then I can see it. Yeah, right? If I do that. No,
What are you trying to do?
I didn't see it well. Or just double checking that everyone can you see the website? Is anybody on the phone? Oh, okay. Because that's the website itself, but would it show on the screen share? But it's not showing here on the screen share.
No, because this
No.
is the screen share.
Yeah. Well, okay. As long as and it's touch screen, just like my computer at home. I'm so happy. I think all systems are go. Hey, before I say anything else, before we really get rolling, I just want to remind you that this location, the Rosebud Coffee House, we're in the back patio, and it's really comfortable here. Oh my God, I'm so comfortable. We got round tables, lots of chairs. Going to have great weather. Today, it's a little overcast. It still feels wonderful. So I'm hoping that someday we will make the transition to having even more in-person persons. Although I have to admit, there's a strong attraction with going hybrid and being able to come from anywhere and be a part of this. So we're going to continue to be hybrid as long as necessary, even into the 22nd century if necessary. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the poetry. All right, so this is a case like in that thing, that really thick book that starts with a B. The last shall be first, the first shall be last. So I'm going to try to predict our first reader's name. It's Beverly Higginson. Whoa, and she's here. I better get out of the way. Okay, Beverly. Your poem is there waiting for you.
Oh, is it? Oh, you know, this will be better probably
Whatever's good
because,
for you.
oh yeah, that's so tiny, jeez. And I don't even have
Can I
reading
make
glasses.
it larger?
No, this is good.
Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, look at that. How about that?
Ode to the love flower.
Okay, hi everybody out there in Zoom land. This is a bit of fluff after some of the heavy stuff that's been read. Ode to the love flower. Bound to wake, I must, though sleep lies beyond my full grasp. Morning casts sunlight through half-opened slats. Shimmering hummingbirds flit, hover, then fly like arrows near trees, ornamented with tiny nests, too perfect to endure.
Super. Let's take a moment to think about that.
Yeah.
Thought,
Mhm.
then we'll
Too
carry on with our-
perfect to endure. Too perfect. Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
Too perfect to endure.
Yeah. Okay.
Too perfect to endure. Yet they do. In mist, rain, afternoon's gusty disregard. Unforgiving sidewalk beckons me when my footfalls desire soft sand where I might bury my toes. Yet I cannot. Trudge, over what appears a modest hill. It is in fact a mirage. Regaling the landscape of another's prolific green thumb, they appear. Brilliant teardrop blossoms drizzled with dew. A fusion of lavender, violet, azure, open to a cloudless sky. Petals at once fragile, delicate, deceptively strong, quiver atop stems like celery stalks. Root in a billowing nest of emerald leaves, reaching, their purple-crowned heads lift in the breeze. It is you, love flower, lily of the Nile, agapanthus, flowering blue-toned romances. And my chest swells, the concrete softens.
I'm sorry, I wasn't following along. I was listening to you.
The concrete softens. Descendant of towering palms in the hills of Beverly, a cousin once removed from the fuzzy-headed lions of Dundee. Your season ends too soon, beautiful Agapan. Stay.
Hey.
Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't moving it up. I hope you were able to follow.
Yeah, that was. They got my favorite line, the fuzzy lines of Dundee.
You know what I did? I
That's
had
pretty
no.
awesome. That's an awesome line. All right. Yeah, so I see the problem with hybridness. Sometimes I get caught up in what's going on here and I forget about electronic land. So, and vice versa, right? Yeah. Like, yay. Let's just move on. Because I know Rose is here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there she is. So, which poem did you want to read, Rose?
I think I only submitted the one.
Okay, then in that case, it makes it easy.
Okay.
You have to forgive me, I've been a distracted fellow.
That's all right. I'll say a quick word about this. It uses an Irish term, Aushi, which is means fairies or spirits of the earth and fields. And La Beltane is also known as Beltane, and it's celebrated on May 1st between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. La Beltane. The time of fire, the time of gold, when Aushi worked their magic in sunlit fields wearing new green. Gather the coltsfoot blooms, floating them on spring water, a flower remedy to heal the spirit of winter's slumber. Harvest gold dandelions for summer wine, while the early bees find their way, making mead honey. May moon waxes, gilding the twilight. Fairy frogs weave the night, singing their spells between the stars. The bonfires blaze, libations poured for kin, kine, and crops. Light has come again, blessing thee and me.
That goes smoothly. I tried to scroll. Did the scrolling work? Yeah.
I think
okay.
so.
Thank,
I was
thank
reading it from a different document.
GT gave me the thumb up, so I know it's good. Thank you,
Yeah,
GT.
it's good.
All right. I'm just a little, getting oriented here. First time we're doing it this way. Hey, we know Dean's around. I saw your name, Dean.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to read?
Go down to the next one.
The next one? You mean, please don't shoot us?
Yes. And I wrote this before Monday, and I hope you're not too traumatized, but this is what I felt at the time. It's called Please Don't Shoot Us. They talk like the only ship that brought Americans was the Mayflower. Every ship from Asia brought enemy aliens, like us, Japs. We kept our heads low to avoid the guns and blows, save precious family. Pearl Harbor sentenced 120,000, most Americans, to incarceration. That is our story. This is our country of birth. We are not here to replace you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff. And of course, you can read Dean's other poems on this website. Just head over to spectrummayflower.blogspot.com and you can read Dean's other poems. And we steamroll along here. I did not see Denise. Lovely poem and photo. Tish Eastman, that name rings a bell.
For me too. Before I read this poem, Dawn and I are co-editing the anthology CE 1 through 7, Poetry of Contact, which many of you know. Submission period is in 4 days, June 1st. I'll put the email in the chat. You can email and get the submission guidelines. I wanted to add that although it's about ET or seeing UFOs, that kind of stuff, that most experiencers have fragmented things that happen to them that they may have interpreted as something else, like seeing shadow people, like seeing hat people, like waking up and feeling like someone was standing in your room, like night terrors, like remembering that you go to sleep as a kid and see an owl at your window. All sorts of unexplained phenomena fall into this category. So if you have anything that's happened to you in your life that seemed paranormal or weird, feel free to write a poem or grab a poem you've already written and submit it, because odds are it will fit in nicely in this anthology. So it's dragontearsmedia@gmail.com, and I'll put it in the chat. So here's my poem. I'm going to read from my paper, Dawn. It's slightly different. As you know, I was writing it up until the deadline, and I rewrote it slightly again after.
Where have I heard that before? Yes.
I know. I'm so
Most poets
sorry.
say that. Most poets say, "Don't worry, don't worry."
It was a new one. So anyway, not that much has changed. Here we go. Pilgrims. There was a first ship that brought them across the uncharted expanse to a strange, distant shore, expected to be more benign. But a pervasive signal, not intended as weapon, a system contrived by the indigenous to track positions of their primitive, unseaworthy craft, accidentally scrambled controls, propulsions, the sextants and charts, the billowing sails, and the ship crushed under a desert moonrise. One pilgrim set foot on the new world, surrounded by spear points, taken as prisoner, scrutinized, and after a half-life, frozen as corpse. Not a glorious landing about which myths arose of heartfelt thanksgivings when there were none, when there have only been conspiracies, lies. No one witnessed the Mayflower drop anchor who could comprehend what that moment meant, who could publish contradictory headlines in newspapers which their tribe had not developed technology to print, nor would they ever, their culture disrupted, washed away by the ships that once having started, never stopped coming in waves that lapped the shores, the skies.
Now, Tish, can you also submit flash fiction for this anthology?
It is poetry, but if it's short enough and you put it in with one big block of stuff and make it artsy, it's a it's a prose poem. So if you can rework it and try it.
Very good, very good. Submission period begins June 1st. Is that correct?
June 1st, dragontearsmedia@gmail.com, and also Facebook will have a submission material. But if you email, I'm going to make a list and send out the submission guidelines that way. Put it in chat.
Thank you, Tish. Hey, is Joe in the electronic house? Don't remember seeing that name today. Patrick Walter is new to our crew. Charles Harmon gave me the word that he's on duty this weekend, so he could not be here. Is there anyone named Preet in electronic land? No.
Preet's recovering from, she got a little COVID.
Oh, she did? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Well, I know Tom's here in electronic land. Hey, Tom. Tom. Ground control to poet Tom.
Unmuting himself.
Unmute yourself. Okay. Systems on.
Okay.
Which poem and may? Okay. Which poem, sir?
I'd like to read Pacific Grove.
Okay. One Pacific Grove.
Okay. Pacific Grove. Stepping on the paved sidewalk, clouds greet me, and I bid them hello. barefooted. I long to see the beach for the first time. Lover's Point, a cove with crags that surround the lagoon. Seaweed and kelp wash in and out, with ocean current and a light spray of salt water sprinkles my face, as waves ebb, but also at me. The tide sways and swells. Local kids dive off cliffs. A bikini-clad woman sees my East Coast distinction, eyes agape and looking at her exposed pubes. I feel urges I'd never felt before. A volleyball game ensues while vendors sell taffy and popcorn. July 1975's raw music transfigures time. After I find the spot on Lighthouse Avenue to outcast myself to a smoking habit at 13, noticing the difference in the nature and ice plants overrunning grounds. I've never known these scenes, iconic moods, human character I'd only known in Steinbeck novels. Now in the same setting, monarch butterflies converge on Pacific Grove. My brother stuffs our family of four in his studio until we find a condo in Seaside. And I said farewell to BG. They can hear the walruses moan on the round rocks, feel how the sea otters swim off the marina and emerge in pages of Cannery Road. PG leaves in a indelible notch, carving out a memory, narrated by the rock and roll of wasting days on skateboards. One summer, years later, I traveled from LA to PG, and it seemed like a magnet. Rain just rocking like a buoy on the sea. You.
Thank you, Tom. Your writing has really matured like a fine wine. Have you got a book coming out soon? Got a book coming out, man? Tom?
Dude, going to Boise. Yeah, that's delicious, Tom. That's delicious.
It's really good writing. Good writing.
Work.
Okay, I'm looking for a name I think is here. Eddie's here, right? Eddie? Am I wrong?
She was here.
She was here.
Eddie. So she's
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, okay. Thank God you're here. Hey, which poem do you want to read, Hetty?
Yeah, not sure.
There's Encounter in the Yellow Hour, Lidless Eyes, and Origin.
Origin is fine. It's
Okay.
shortest.
Okay.
Unless you have a preference.
You know, I like all three. That's why they're up here.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'll read the origin. I have no name, no face, no age. I've lost track of my birthplace. A grain of sand blown by the slightest breeze. I've crossed continents and shores, flown over dunes and quarries, known the brush of leaves and grass, even rested in ponds after being swept by crested tides, always unseen, but never lonely. My edges softened by rubbing against ruby, garnet, coral, quartz, shells, endlessly smoothing each other's skin, surviving the heat of scorching sun, drowning in carmine sea, until that last sacrifice on the pyre, where our blood melts into layers and layers of crimson petals, opening up in their last frozen gesture. Is anyone aware that I'm forever prisoner in that translucent flower?
Wow. Oh, your poetry is so marvelously visual. It's like a 7-layer cake, to borrow an analogy from earlier. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Is Jackie around?
so sensual.
No. Okay. Rose.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Rose is, yes.
Rose, you can pretty dependable. Rose, yeah. Which one, Rose?
Oh, first one is fine.
My
My
please?
please.
Okay.
Okay. My please. More April showers, please. Rain clouds. The land is cracking from drought. Only you can revive the dying trees. Lend me your petals, my flowers, Mayflowers. I want to adorn my poems with your colors, to purge the gray from my melancholy. Shine your torches on my path, fireflies. The sky is darkened by gun smoke. Help me to find my homeward way. Sing me jovial songs, robins. Too much cacophony and clamor from this troubled world. Stay longer if you may, spring, to delay dreadful summer fires and horrendous storms owing to men's greed. Don't leave me my plea to you, peace. I need to sail through a world full of turmoil and chaos.
Yeah. Oh, such marvelous sound sense in here, right? Right from the get-go. My please, more April showers, please.
Oh, yes.
And you know the rest.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Good one.
Let's see,
We
who's
were
next?
asked, we were wondering, us people who are on Zoom, we're wondering how many people were at the live site.
Okay, let's see. 10. Ooh, wow. I'm a fast mathematician. 10 people. 10 people. We are slowly growing, but I'm telling you, this place is so comfy cozy. Yeah, Spectrum 32 reading will be here in July. Yeah, so something to look forward to. It's going to be lovely. Oh, who is this? Who's this? Who's this? Did I just forget who I'm looking for? Oh, Kaloki. Yeah. It's time for the Kaloki show. He's marching to the podium. Wait, this is not a podium. Bust your butt over here, young man.
Okay. Okay.
Did I leave my script over there?
Okay.
Yeah, he took it.
Here's your.
Okay,
Here.
there's my script.
Okay. Let me get some. When I met Blaise Pascal when I was went to Fuller Theological Seminary to be a preacher. I met when I went as a teacher at Thomas Starr King School. A fellow teacher introduced me to Bukowski. In this poem, Pascal and Bukowski sneak into Santa Anita from Stadi Sistina. Kingfisher will be reading Bukowski's lines, and I will be reading Pascal's. All around our planet in the tiny galaxy is empty space.
I have to take a crap after making bet for first race.
In relation to the infinite, I am nothing. In relation to the nothing, I am everything.
As if the very searchlight of God was focused on me, I picked up my racing form and began reading it.
By reason, I seek to comprehend the infinity of things beyond it.
I found this place. You should see the air, light, and space.
The endless enormity of an impersonal universe engulfs me.
Rushed to bar for shot of scotch after second race. Missed the love shadows. When she left, she took almost everything.
What was before and will be after, I know nothing. How can all there is come from nothing?
Unless it bursts from your soul like a rocket, don't do it.
Like Einstein or Hawkins, I want an explanation for everything. With heart, not reason, I'll soar through space.
I passed gold poppies by Seabiscuit statue during third race. It's so sad. The flowers are still trying to please me.
If I wager on God's existence, what will happen to me? If God is, I win all. If he isn't, I lose nothing.
I haven't won shit as we come to the fourth race.
As stars move through space, they dent or warp it.
They say deep in Earth live creatures from outer space.
As a black hole interest, I come to the end of everything. Which through its exit, I may come to the beginning of everything.
Crazy woman, alcoholic, once threw pounds cantos at me.
What we think is gravity is the strong curvature of space.
Wild. My body being there and filled with nothing.
It's still miraculous whether the beginning is from a thou or it.
Can't get my ass off Barstool and miss 5th race. I break my losing streak in the 6th race.
From the precipice, I leap into the void of everything.
Told that tough motherfucker, you can make it.
The eternal silence of these infinite spaces alarms me. Yet, like the universe, I have come to being out of nothing.
Nothing but space between us. Care to close that space? After the 7th race, Blaze says to me,
Chudowski, you have everything to gain, but will lose nothing.
I wish it were that simple. I'll tell this fucking space ball.
Thank you.
It was certainly a lot of fun.
I have released Pascal back to his space. But I kept a little memento. Yeah. Well, that was slightly fun. You know what's a great follow-up for that? Lori Wall Holloway. She's in the house. The outdoor house. Oh, yes. Come on down. Come on down now. Which one are you going to read? Because I'm just going to put it on the screen. Snapshot. Oh, that makes it easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Get out of your way.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hey. Oh,
Well, you're here and
I'm
you're
here.
there.
Yeah. Okay. Got
And,
it.
and-
Okay. Snapshot. Young woman sits on bench and carefully picks up tiny black roly-poly she discovers on cement ground. It does not roll to protect itself, but appears to pose on her arm for a photo. She rises to put it with flowers and plants, but accidentally drops the bug. Upset, she quickly urges it back on her hand to situate it in a safe place. I watch the scene play out before me and observe my granddaughter's sensitivity. Her tenderness resembles that of her youth, when she turned over the dirt in the garden to watch pill bugs roll up into balls. Oh, I know. My granddaughter's, yeah.
They grow up so fast. That was so delightful. That is really, I like to think everybody can relate to that poem. Let's see who else is in the electronic house or even outdoors here. Let's see. Is Marianne? She might be here. No? Okay, moving on. We've got a lot of Marianne for you to read, that's for sure. Robert, I know Robert's here. Robert. Mr. Fleming. Unmute
Good
thyself.
evening.
Hey, Robert, which one you want to read, sir?
I'll read the second one.
Which would be Canada Remembers?
No, Witch Supai.
Okay. There you go.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, word artist from Delaware. So I'm going to share a Supai sequence, which is like haikai. Witch Supai. Pastrami on rye. Salem delicatessen. Ergot poisoning. Low vitamin A. Pinprick hallucinations. Witch discovery. Step up to podium.
Salem town crier cries, cries. 3 witches burned. Wedge stays wedge, not witch. Swallow pill under full moon. 1661, witch pill. Flower petal yeast. Final bread slice digested. White snake flower root. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks to you, I don't need drugs. I just read Robert Fleming's poetry.
That's good stuff, Robert. Thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome. Oh, well, how do we get to this guy already? What's going on? I'm the last one. Well, okay. So you're saying yay because I'm the okay. 'Cause I'm the, okay. I got it. All right. Well. Okay. So, wow, what a great ad this is for next week's meeting. Next Saturday, we're meeting at my driveway. See, there it is, my driveway. Yeah. Writing workshop. Yeah. That's what I was going to say, man. You're throwing me off. All right. I'm severely distracted, but I hope to get it together for next Saturday's writing workshop, which is preparation for the next online edition, which is Summer Love. Summer Love. What a refreshing change from Mayflower, which was, I kind of enjoyed Mayflower too. It was very nice. Really lovely poetry. My poem is almost that lovely. All right. As I look down my driveway, there's way too much history in that driveway. That's what this poem's all about, a driveway. Along the setback, a burgundy-tipped, green-flowered succulent reaches up with many branches in a dusty black plastic pot with drainage holes at the bottom. A little spiky palm tree is rooted near the further edge, anchored by a brick-sized asphalt chunk. Across from them, white calla lilies gracefully spiral out of tall stems, taking in the sun and small predatory beetles. I researched that. A large flowering bush has started to grow above the lip of the long concrete path, a side view mirror hazard. Just last month, my new wife personally planted two 2-week-old, gifted by me, Home Depot, tiny drooping brown flower bunches, hoping they will eventually recover. And I'm happy to report one of them has. Unfortunately, there are also still a few marks as you travel down the entranceway. Oh yeah, when you come by next week, you can see them in person. A black spray-painted BMW grill shadow from when my daughter and her husband stayed here for 6 pandemic months. And a trail of white paint tire tracks left over from my ex-girlfriend's poor jealousy one morning in early 2018 after I had married someone else, who turned out to want nothing more than a green card marriage. Thank God she's behind me. Talk about a Volta. Oh well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing those Mayflower poems, and there's many more on the website to look at. It just gives me great pleasure to be able to put a whole lot of poems up there. Doesn't cost anything to put them up, so that makes it so refreshing, right? So it's just one avenue we have. And of course, I believe the deadline for that is really luxuriously late. It's going to be the 3rd Saturday in June is the deadline because it goes up. What day is that? Someone said?
Hello?
I thought someone said the date. Or
Yeah, someone say.
what was that date? I'm at June 4th, June 11th, June 18th would be the deadline. And then June 25th is when we do this again, a month from now, at Rosebud Coffee. In the luxuriously comfy, this is so freaking comfy. I want to put this in my backyard, man. This is so, if I had a backyard. There's another deadline that I feel obligated to let you know about, because every 3 months, Spectrum does a print edition. And that deadline looms large shortly after the online edition. That's why I want to point it out. right? So June is Summer Love, and July will be Rejoice or Rue because it's Spectrum 32. Remember, the titles always rhyme. Spectrum 32, Rejoice or Rue, and the deadline for that's coming up in July, which will be here before you know it. So just have that in the back of your mind.
The first Saturday of July.
Yeah, yeah. So